It's the TST R002 e-bike, and it's cold out here today, so let's get right into it. Our well-packaged goodie box here has our user manual. Looks like some passenger pegs, pedals, toolkit, hardware, kickstand, more hardware, derailleur guard, charging cable, and the charging cable is a 2-amp charger. So I think the battery is a 15 amp hour battery, so it's going to take 7.5 hours to charge that battery from completely dead to completely full. Here's what it looks like packaged from the factory, and it's orange. I like that because orange bikes always make for a good YouTube thumbnail. I've seen this frame style before, and it's a happy day. I like riding this frame style a lot. Most of this bike has gone together very, very easily. The only problem that I've encountered with it is, it kind of tripped me up for a second here, is trying to get these handlebars on. I couldn't get them to line up properly. Well, I got to looking at it, and the way it shifts, this stem is on upside down. So I just got to take this off, flip it over, and then put the handlebars back on, and it should be easy and good to go. Yeah, that went very easy after flipping those around to the right side up. Just keep that in mind if you get this bike. Okay, pardon the mess in my van. I've been doing a lot of work with e-bikes lately, and I just haven't had the time to vacuum it out. And that's what I use this van for, primarily anyway, is hauling these things back and forth. So I get a lot of mud in here. But one of the things that I absolutely love about these moped-style e-bikes, especially the ones with this style frame, is that, as you can see, I can stand it up in the back of my van, and it just makes it really easy to roll it in and out of this van. And I would take this style bike over a folding bike any day for my uses. Now, I understand if you've got a car and all you've got is a trunk and you can't fit something like this in there, you're definitely going to want a folding bike. But these moped style bikes, the 20-inch fat tire moped bikes, have become my favorite bikes because they are so convenient for me to use. And if I'm going someplace new and if I don't know whether or not I'm going to ride or not, and I just want to take a bike with me, it's always going to be a 20-inch moped style bike that I grab and throw in the back of my van just to have with me, just in case I would want to go out and explore. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing any exploring, but it's nice to have it and not need it, rather than need it and not have it. So let's do the walk around on this bike, and I wanted to come out someplace kind of picturesque and do a really nice pretty ride today, but we got rain last night and rain further into today, and it's almost to the middle of November and it is cold out here. So I don't know how long the ride is going to go, but I'm going to do my best to cover everything about this bike. The upside is I've had a bike similar to this one before, and I really like this style frame a lot. This is one of my favorite e-bikes to ride. And one of the things about a bike like this is other people have tended to do reviews on this where they'll take pictures of this bike at an odd angle to make it look a lot bigger than it actually is. This is a small bike, and I would say that that is what plays to the strength of this bike, because it's so small, lightweight, and zippy that it's just a lot of fun to ride. This thing is basically designed to be ridden at full throttle all the time anyway, so I wouldn't really worry about pedaling it more than just hopping on it and riding it. Now, that is going to drain the battery faster, but it's got a 15 amp hour battery, and that 15 amp hour battery is going to take you pretty far. Now, the downside to that is this bike is basically made to be ridden full throttle and ride it fast as you can, as quick as you can, so that does kind of tend to drain the battery fast. You've got to have a lot of willpower to run it in a lower pedal assist level. I really do like this orange frame, and it looks great on video, but it looks a lot better in person. This thing is really sharp looking. One of the only things I really don't agree with, and I would probably change these out, is these pegs here for the passenger. They don't fold up. They are stationary, so I would probably not ride with a passenger on here anyway, so I'd probably just take them off. But if I were going to go with passenger pegs, I'd just grab a cheap $10 pair of pegs that fold up, and that would be problem solved. We got metal pedals, 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes front and rear, And the brand on the brakes are Core Ride. We got dual crown forks up front. There's no adjustment, so they are set where they're set. There's no preload adjustment, and you can't lock them out. Plastic fenders both front and rear. Like I said, we got a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery. This is our key to unlock that. You just twist it, push that forward, and it pops right off, no problem there. The grips are not the most comfortable, but a $10 trip to Walmart will take care of that. One of the other criticisms that I have is that the throttle is over on the left side. If I were going to ride this long term, I would definitely pop this off, move it over to this side, and have my throttle over on the right side. It just feels a lot more natural. The controller screen, I don't know if you can see that. You're getting some flashes here because it's just out of sync with my camera shutter speed, but you won't see this flash in real life. It is steady, but basic plain Jane, easy to see, easy to control controller screen, and I do like that. We've got the tried and true Shimano 7-speed shifter. This is our headlight up front, and to turn that on, you hold the button down on the controller, that turns it on, long press it again, that shuts it off. And in the back here, we got a tail light tucked up underneath the rail here, and we got turn signals as well. If you double tap on the controller here, that turns on your turn signal, and double tapping on the other side turns on your turn signal again. And that's that. We've also got brake lights. I hope you can see that as I'm reaching. On the other side over here, we've got our 7-speed Shimano gears, Shimano derailleur guard, decently sized sprocket up front, but like I said, once you get past a certain speed, maybe even 15 miles per hour, you're going to be ghost pedaling this thing anyway, so I wouldn't count on your legs doing much work. This is all throttle all the time. And we've got 20x4 fat tires. They are Compass brand, so I don't know anything about those, but they look to be pretty good and pretty well built. We got a big comfortable banana seat here, and the other bike that I had that was kind of like this similar frame didn't have this this pad back here. So what I do like about that is you can put a basket or bag or whatever back there and strap that down and carry some stuff along with you. But anyway, I don't have much else to say about it. Let's take this thing down the road and see what she can do. All right, first off, we are going to test the accuracy of the speedometer, and I got it in pedal assist level 3 right now. Man, it wants to take off hard in pedal assist level 3, but I'm just gonna kind of hold my phone here. I, like a dummy, took off and didn't bring my my phone clip today, so we're just gonna hold it and compare it. And it looks like it's capping out at about 14 miles per hour on the phone, and 16 miles per hour, 15, 14, it's within about a mile per hour distance of each other. And one thing we got to keep in mind is with all these trees, it could be interfering with the accuracy of GPS. But I'm going to turn around now, and we're going to go up into level 5, and we're going to test the accuracy of that level. Boy, this bike takes off quick. And I do have the bike unlocked right now. Well, I thought I had it unlocked. It looks like it's capping out at about 22. Let me check. I could have swore I had the top speed unlocked on this thing. Let's look at the app. The app is Orbital Sports app. We're going to connect here. Yeah, you know, I can't connect to the app because I'm out here in the boonies. I'm not able to reach their servers to connect. So that's the downside of having an app when you need to configure your device. Anyway, what I'm going to do is go out and ride the bike today. And I think there's a way to get in here and unlock it without the app, but I don't know how to do that. And I would need to Google it. And because I've got no connection out here in the boonies, I'm just not going to be able to Google that to figure it out. So we're just going to go ahead and continue with the ride now and see where we can go with this. But yeah, I'm going to give it one more run down this way here. It looked like it was capping out at about 22 miles per hour, but trying to hold my phone and ride over bumps and things like that. Well, now it's going up faster, so it is definitely unlocked. And it capped out at 28 on the speedometer there. So it is unlocked, and I'll show once you get in the app how that's unlocked, but I can't do it here because we don't have a connection. But yeah, this is definitely a bike that when you're riding like this on trails like this at top speed, you want to have both hands on the wheels, or both hands on the handlebars, that is. But yeah, we're just going to go out and enjoy the ride on this gravel trail. I've been out here once before, and I came out here in the summertime, and this is not technically a bicycle trail, but it is very bicycle friendly, as you almost never see any cars on this road. I really do like that. And this has a hell of a lot of steep hills, so it's going to really put this bike through its paces to climb up these hills. I've been doing an almost constant upward climb since I took off. I'm actually going to downshift a little bit and help it out. But yeah, it's really taking the piss out of this bike with everything that it's taken to climb up this hill. Now it's a pretty steep upward constant climb, and where it should be capping out at about 28 miles per hour, it's holding at 13 miles per hour. And I'll say this bike is not really made for trails like this. You can have a lot of fun on it, but I would say that this bike is probably more of an urban commuter, more of a flat ground, more of a pavement style bike. And yeah, I'm really working this motor hard to get up this hill, but it's still going. And as you can see, we've still got a pretty long ways to go. I can't explain to you how long and how steep this hill is and how much energy it's taken to go up this hill. This is a hill and trail style, more for trail style bikes. So we're still going to go. This is a good, like, low range, like low speed torquey bike for city commuting, things like that. But we're almost to the top of the hill, and I can't really I really can't stress enough how far and how long and how high this hill is. And I've really been pushing this bike hard to get up here. Now I came out here before and rode the Filoto Forester up here, and it, with its dual motor setup and 60-volt battery, it ripped right up this hill. But this is really putting this little bike through its paces to climb up here, and it's doing it. And I weigh just under 190 pounds, and I'm carrying 10 pounds of gear, so it's carrying itself, which weighs around 72 to 75 pounds. I can't remember the exact amount. And me, which weighs 200 pounds, which I weigh 200 pounds, and it went right up, and now it's thanking me for being at the top of the hill. You really can't get a good feel for how steep and how long these hills are on an action cam, because the fisheye of the action cam really distorts the view, and you really can't see how steep and how long these hills are. But this bike, now that we're not going uphill anymore, it's really kind of not. I spoke too soon. Now we're going right back up another hill again. But once it gets to where it's not climbing uphill, it's really not fighting so hard. And I'm not sure which way I want to go. Let's go this way. I will say these brakes need to be bedded in. They're good brakes, but I've not really used them enough yet, especially this rear brake. I mean, I pretty much popped this thing out of the van, and this is the first ride I've taken it on. I took it on one little quick, just around the block ride after I put it together, just to see if it was gonna, just to see if there's any maintenance checks that I needed to do on it before I came out to do this ride. But so far, so good. But yeah, the brakes, the more I use them, yeah, they're bedded in now. They're perfect. That was fast. But yeah, it's got really good brakes, especially with this bike weighing only, like, it's under 75 pounds. I know 75 pounds sounds like a lot in bicycle world, but in moped-style bikes, that's really not that much. And this bike is really easy to just grab and kind of manhandle and throw around how you want to throw it around. It's very easy to deal with. And once I got over that initial nasty hill, it's a lot of fun to ride. Now, I will say that hill probably took a lot out of the battery. If you take a bike like this on flat pavement like this, and ride it at top speed with the throttle, which is basically how I'm going to ride a bike like this for the most part, you're going to get about 15 to 20 miles out of the range with a 15 amp hour battery. Back on the hills and stuff like that, I really couldn't tell you exactly how far it's going to be able to go, because I've never ridden a bike like this on those kinds of hills and stuff like that. So it definitely is going to pull the battery life down a lot faster. So what I'm going to do is plan on going about 7 miles, 6 or 7 miles, depending on how cold I get. And then I'm going to turn around and go back, and we're going to see where our battery life is at when we get done. I kind of want to go back on the gravel because this bike is not made for gravel trails. So like this here, when I start coming back up this hill, it's really going to put this bike through its paces. It's really going to be very, very abusive towards this bike, because this is a hell of a climb to come back up. But yeah, this bike is doing it. This bike is really torquey in the low end. As a matter of fact, this bike kind of wants to wheelie when you take off. But when you get on gravel and start riding like that, that's when it really starts to put this bike through its paces. But yeah, I do love these. I've got one of these bikes like this. It's from a different brand, but it's the same style frame, and it is the bike that I keep on my porch, that when I want to hop on and ride down to the dollar store, that's the one that I take, because it is so lightweight and easy to manage, and just I can just pick it up and manhandle it and throw it around where I want to go. And I like that it's got that like top speed of 28 miles per hour for zipping around town on. And that's plenty fast enough. It gets up to that 28 pretty fast. Not so much on these hills like this, because the gravel and with the hills, it's a little bit of a challenge for this thing to climb like that, especially with my weight. But the bike is a great bike. I love these bikes. This is not the kind of riding, this kind of bike is not the kind of bike that is suited for the kind of riding that I normally do. I normally do like trail riding on rail and trail, so I like a 26-inch bike with a 4-inch fat tire for that kind of stuff. But hey, this little bike is hanging. It's not having any problems at all. So yeah, here we got another hell of a fierce hill. So I'm kind of trying to get as much momentum built up as I can. And I got about 20 pounds of air in both of these tires. I probably should let a little bit out because it's a bit bouncy when we hit some spots. Going downhill, you hit a big rock and it bounces you. Woohoo! But yeah, this is definitely not a trail bike, but it's hanging on the trails. It's doing a good job. This is the little bike that I like to hop on and go out and just raise hell on. Like I said, I don't really like the handlebar grips. And on the other bike that I've got that's kind of like this, I already changed out the grips. And it was like just a few bucks to get some gel padded grips and throw on here. Other than that, it's been a great bike. I did move the throttle over to the right side because to me, when I was riding it, I would reach over to hit the throttle with the right side, and I just got tired of having to remind myself that it's over here on the left. And would I be sitting in traffic and wanting to go, and I'd be fiddling around with looking for where the throttle was at? That got old. So like I said, it's just a matter of unscrewing it loose over here, moving it over there, and now you got a perfect setup. But really, that's the only kind of criticism I have to offer to this bike. Does it have dirt bike climbing power on trails like this? No, but it's not going to cost you what a dirt bike costs you either. And as far as just like hopping on and zipping around and having some fun, it's pretty well built for that. I'm afraid to look at what this thing looks like as muddy as I've gotten it now, but it's a pretty bike. It looks great with that orange paint job, but I'm afraid that it's gonna be pretty dirty now, but nothing that a hose won't fix. But I feel like a bike like this is made to get dirty. You're supposed to take it out and get it kind of dirty and have some fun with it. I have no idea where I am at. I think I might have just done a big circle. I am not real familiar with these trails. But yeah, this is starting to look like maybe something I've already done before. I don't know. I guess if nothing else, when I get to the end of where I want to go, I'm going to turn around and just go back and do my best to retrace my steps getting back. Boy, it's getting chilly out here. Yeah, having these brakes when you go down the hills, you really want those good brakes on a trail like this. You get your momentum up and it's like, it can get a little bit squirrely when it starts to get away from you. But yeah, this is a pretty mild uphill climb right now, and it's making it up the hill this way, no problem at all. When you get a really steep hill, that's when it kind of struggles a bit. Like the first hill coming into this set of trails is brutal, and you can see from the beginning of the video that it really kind of fought pretty hard to get up that hill. Once you get established on your trails, she's a contender. So my final thoughts on the TST 002. Am I giving my final thoughts away too soon? I'm going to say no, because I've already got a bike that is very similar to this, and this one, the one that I have that is similar to this, is one that I actually hung on to for myself. I really liked it that much. So this one, I can give it my highest recommendations if you're looking for a 48 volt moped style bike that fits in that 28 mile per hour class 3 speed limitations. It's a lot of fun to ride. It's a lot more suited for making its way around my little neighborhood than it is on trails like this, but I can't complain as far as how it's doing with these trails out here. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And when I get to about 6 miles on this bike, I'm gonna turn around and start looking for my way back and see where we're at when we get back as far as like our mileage goes, because it is, whoa, it is definitely ripping through the battery a lot faster going over these hellish hills. All right, so I know I said I was gonna go 6 miles. We're at 5.9 now, and we're about to tick over 6, and just in time because it is starting to rain, and I have no clue where I'm at. So I'm gonna have to turn around now, figure out where I'm going so I can get back. And I'm at 3 bars of battery for the range. I'm hoping that's going to be plenty enough to get me back, because I really don't want to pedal this thing back in the rain. All right, I'm at about 10 miles now, and I am not lost anymore. I know where I'm at. So just ticked over 10 miles. So going out there that first 6 miles, it was like all upward climb all the way. Coming back, I'm really not using that much battery because now I'm making my way back downhill. So I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at. I got about another, 2-3 miles to go. So when I get back to the beginning, I'll give us our range update. Boy, not a moment too soon, because with that rain and wind, it is getting cold out here. This is what really makes me happy, to have good brakes on this bike. I do not want to go around a curve and off of that down there. That would not be a fun Sunday. Yeah, we are cooking now. Holy moly. This bike has a top speed of about 28 miles per hour, and it truly caps out at about 26. But for this trail, for this ride, that's been too much. Now, you don't want to get going too fast on a bike this light on this kind of a trail, because once you lock them up and go off over the edge, that's not going to be fun. I think for this bike, the more important thing for this ride has been the very good brakes that it has, and it does have great brakes. And on this kind of terrain, on this kind of day with the rain where everything is wet and slick, you need them. All right, here we are back to the beginning of the ride. 12.1 brutal miles. The first 6 miles going out there were pretty much all uphill and very rough to climb all those hills to get out there. And then coming back, it just sipped the battery coming back because it was basically all downhill. So we used 3 total bars out of 5 on the battery. The motor carried us up all the hills, and there were some very steep hills out there, some very long steep hills, and it made it the whole way. The brakes got us back without locking up and without burning out, and I would say that this bike gets my highest recommendation, but I knew that it was going to get my highest recommendation because I got another one kind of just like this, and it was really easy to know that I was going to like this bike a lot, and this is one of my favorite e-bikes that I've ever ridden. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and I'm going to get in and get warm.